This is the worst job ever. I mean, come on! I'm Zaki the Hoopoe, world-famous storyteller, adventurer, feathered explorer of Islamic history, and today, I'm a baby bird babysitter.
Well, someone has to keep the little fluff ball from falling off the branch, and it surely won't be me. I've got to reorganize my seaweed collection by squishiness level.
But why me? I had big plans today. I was going to practice my dramatic storytelling poses, maybe fly to the cave of Hira and narrate upside down for effect.
Yes, clearly more important than keeping a baby bird alive.
It's just so boring. Sit, watch, wait. Sit, watch, wait. What's the point?
Young Zaki, you seek the storm, but forget the still sea. Great captains learn patience from tying knots, not just fighting krakens.
You just make those sayings up, don't you?
Only the really wise-sounding ones.
Mirage Digital presents The Amazing Stories with Zaki the Hoopoe. Season 2, Episode 3, The Shepherd in the Desert. Oh, salam, my amazing friends! It's me, Zaki the Hoopoe, your storytelling companion with the most dazzling feathers and the biggest heart for adventure. Have you ever heard of a shepherd? You know, someone who takes care of sheep. They guide them, protect them, keep them from wandering off cliffs, which, by the way, sheep are very good at trying to do. Not the smartest birds. I mean animals.
Sheep don't fly, Zaki.
Well, did you know that the greatest human being to ever live, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was once a shepherd? Yup. When he was a young man, he worked out in the hills of Makkah, all by himself, caring for sheep. No crowds, no cheering fans, no scroll signings or storytelling awards. Just sheep every single day.
Sounds like a thrilling career.
But that quiet time taught him something incredible. Because when you care for something small, something weak, and you don't rush, that's how you grow strong inside. That's how you learn to lead.
Ah, yes. Nothing builds leadership like sheep poop and loneliness.
Come with me, friends, back to the golden hills of Makkah. To a young boy with a kind heart, a patient soul, and a flock of sheep that taught him lessons greater than gold. Before we begin, let's take a moment to remember something important. Today's story is about someone very, very special, the most special person to ever walk this earth. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. He wasn't just kind or wise, he was chosen by Allah to be the final messenger for all of humanity. And out of love and respect, we always try to say peace be upon him when we say his name. Sometimes I might forget while telling the story, or I'll say his name a lot while flying through exciting parts. But in my heart, I always mean it. So when you hear his name, maybe you can whisper, peace be upon him too, like a little gift of love just between you and him. Now, let's go back to the hills outside Makkah, to a time when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was just a boy. And though he was still young, he had a job that needed patience, strength, and a lot of kindness. Every morning he would lead his flock of sheep out of the city, past the valleys, up into the quiet hills, just him and the sheep.
Sounds like a party.
It wasn't exactly a party, Captain Suhail, but it was peaceful. No noise, no distractions, just the wind, the sky, and the sound of hooves on earth. Muhammad would walk carefully, making sure no sheep wandered too far. If one was tired, he'd slow down. If one was limping, he'd carry it. He didn't just watch the sheep. He looked after them, like they mattered, because to him, they did. He'd guide them to places where the grass grew green and soft. He'd find shade for them in the heat. And sometimes, He'd just sit and watch. There, in the stillness, Muhammad would think. He'd reflect about the stars, the sky, the creator of everything, about right and wrong, about how people treated each other. And in that quiet space, he wasn't just watching sheep, he was learning something deep, something that couldn't be taught in books.
Don't say it. Sheep are secret professors.
Not exactly. But by caring for the weak, he was becoming strong. By being patient, he was growing wise. And by being alone, he was preparing to stand before the whole world. Because one day, those same feet that walked the hills would walk across deserts, leading people to faith. And that same heart that cared for sheep would carry the message of Allah. Up in the hills, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, watched over the sheep with gentle eyes. Not just from a distance, no, he was with them, walking beside them, guiding them, protecting them. If one sheep stopped walking, he stopped too. If one cried out, he listened. And when the day got hot, he found them shade. No one was watching, no one was clapping, but he still cared. Okay, you want more moss? More fluff? A lullaby? I'm doing my best here.
You know, you're only watching one tiny bird. The Prophet, peace be upon him, had a whole flock.
Yeah, but his job had history, purpose, meaning. I'm just wiping baby beaks and dodging poop.
Sounds like leadership training to me.
I thought I'd be soaring over dramatic battlefields or narrating from mountaintops. Not stuck here folding leaves into baby bird blankets. This doesn't feel important, it just feels small. But back on those hills, even the smallest things were important to the Prophet. Peace be upon him. One sheep, one step, one small act of care. He didn't rush, he didn't complain, he was patient, even when no one saw it but Allah. He didn't see the job as just a way to earn coins. He saw it as a trust, a test, something sacred. And all that time with the sheep, it trained his heart to lead people with softness, with strength. Maybe greatness isn't about doing big things. Maybe it's about doing small things with a big heart.
Aha! So, you're saying I deserve greatness then? I did fold my socks this morning.
No, Captain, you deserve a nap. Huh. He finally stopped fussing.
Or maybe he just passed out from the drama.
You know, I think he's finally asleep.
Well done, General Feathers. You've conquered the nap-time battlefield.
I never thought rocking a baby bird to sleep could feel important. But when I was watching him, I started thinking about how the Prophet, peace be upon him, watched his flock. Not because someone told him to, not because it was fun, but because it mattered. Every sheep mattered.
That's because real leaders don't start on thrones. They start in the dirt, with the weak, the small, the loud and squishy.
Wait, was that wisdom from you?
I'm full of surprises, like an old treasure chest, mostly filled with fish bones, but occasionally gold.
So, being a shepherd wasn't just about sheep. It was about learning to care, to protect, to be patient even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard.
Look at that! You're catching on, the legendary Zaki, humbled by a chick and a prophet.
I guess I needed the reminder. I always thought I had to do big, dramatic things to make a difference.
Sometimes the biggest difference starts with the quiet stuff, like waiting, or listening, or wiping bird boogers off someone's beak.
Thanks, Captain Suhail.
Don't thank me. Thank the sheep.
Long before he taught people, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, learned to lead by caring for sheep, with patience, with mercy, and with a heart that saw value in every creature no matter how small. And maybe that's how we learn too. By starting small, by caring deeply, and by never thinking that kindness is a waste of time.
even if it smells like a waste of time.
You know, you were kind of like a shepherd today, too.
I was not. I did no such thing.
You guided me. You reminded me to be patient. You watched over me, kind of like I was your sheep.
Well, I am excellent at managing difficult livestock.
Wait, are you calling me a goat?
No. Goats are much better listeners.
Hey,
Or so it seems. Still, maybe the lesson is always look busy enough, and someone else will end up doing the actual work.
what?
What?
Did he just?
I said nothing. You're doing great, Shepard Zaki. I'll be at the beach if anyone needs me.
I'm not sure if he's wise or just really good at avoiding chores. You know, my friends, today I learned something really special. I used to think being great meant doing big things, flashy, exciting, dramatic things. But now I think real greatness starts small, like taking care of one bird or one sheep or just being patient, even when nobody's watching. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, didn't become the greatest leader overnight. He learned to lead by being gentle, by paying attention, by protecting the ones who needed him most. So if you ever feel like what you're doing is small or doesn't matter, just remember, every big tree started from a tiny seed, and every great leader started by caring for someone else.
Did someone say seeds? Are we planting something? Is there a snack involved?
You came back?
Of course I did. I had to see if you'd turn into a wise old owl while I was gone.
Just a humbled hoopoe with a slightly stronger heart.
Ooh, feelings. I was hoping for snacks.
Well, you did plant the lesson. I just finally listened.
That's what captains do. We drop wisdom, then we fly in dramatically at the end and pretend we planned it all along.
You mean you didn't plan that?
Let's just say I shepherded the moment.
Oh, feathers, he's proud of that pun. Well, my amazing friends, that's the end of today's story. And I have to say, I'm feeling a little different now. Sometimes the hardest lessons don't come from big adventures. They come from quiet moments, like watching over someone small, or listening to a wise, weird seagull.
Aha! You admit it. I am the shepherd of wisdom.
You're something, all right. But guess what? Our next story takes us way beyond the hills of Makkah. In the next episode, we follow young Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as he joins his uncle Abu Talib on a caravan journey all the way to Syria.
Ooh, ancient scrolls, camel traffic, and divine foreshadowing.
You're just back for the snacks, aren't you?
Of course not. I came back to witness the sacred growth of your character arc.
Wait, really?
Also, I left my dried anchovies under that rock.
He almost had me. This story was produced by Mirage Digital. Voices provided by Wayne Holland as Zaki and Curtis Fletcher as Captain Suhail. Episode written, directed, and edited by Syed Kashef and Atef Hussein. For more content by Mirage Digital, please visit our site at www.mirage.digital.
Content copyright and production copyright 2025 by Mirage Digital.